Hey you guys, welcome back to my channel. Today we will be unboxing my first ever Scrawlrbox box. This is the January 2022 one, so it's really late, but it's because of our local post office. I live in the provinces in the Philippines, so we don't really get that much mail. So it's a different system. It's not late because of Scrawlrbox. So if you have a subscription, you might already have seen what's inside this box. They actually sent me 3 boxes. One was for last year, I think, but the other one was for February. And I did open that one, but I forgot to have it on video. So this is what you are seeing right now. The first thing we have on the box is the scroller design, which has a lot of fun things in it. They sort of introduced the materials on this one. You can also get to know the month's featured artists. And then they have a spread of the entries from the past month's boxes and prompts. So I think this is really cool. I would love to know if one of you guys' art made it in this month's issue. I think it'd be super cool to have your art in there. And I also think it's such a fun way to get to know new artists. The other thing that's in this box is an artwork by this month's featured artist, and for this one it's an artist named Roots, and this might be my favorite artwork out of all the 3 that I unboxed. I just love the vibe of this one, and I'm also in love with the colors. The first art supply that we have is our actual paper. Then this one is a Multi-Techniques smooth paper pad. It's a full pad, which I didn't expect. I sort of just expected these boxes to have 1 or 2 sheets of paper, but I'm really glad that it's not. And then the next things that we have are our actual things that we're gonna draw or paint with. And this is our theme for this month, which is creature comforts. I sort of already expected it, but I'm really worried about that because I'm just not that great at drawing non-people, so that's gonna be really challenging for me. The next things we have on the box are candies. This one is also my favorite out of the 3 that I've tried. And then there is the Sakura Pigma liners. This one is in size 12, and then the pencil is the Faber-Castell one. I've actually tried this one before, so I know what to expect. And then for what I think is the highlight of the box, this is the Karin Pigment Deco Brush. These ones I haven't tried before, so I'm sort of wary of it. The colors are also these nice and warm sort of fall colors, which I think is what the artist used in the artwork that came with the box. So I know you can make a full artwork out of these, but I'm also just scared of the color selection because I don't see any cool colors in there. So this is actually gonna be a pretty big challenge for me. I think I would need to get to know these art supplies first before I can make anything out of them. So yeah, I'm first swatching them out, and I really love the brush nib on these, and I also love that the paints are very flowy. It's nice and juicy, and also the colors are sort of make a natural gradient, which I love too. The only thing that I'm nervous of is that they don't really blend that well after they're dry. Yeah, I think I already had a good plan after this of what I wanted to do, but I'm also just trying to work with the pencil. As soon as I sort of tried the pencil out and just trying to get the sketch going, I really just enjoyed myself too much. I don't know what's up with this one today, because the last time I tried these pencils, I didn't like them. I think I remember them being too light and not like hefty enough for me to, I don't know, really feel and like sketching with them. But this one is actually has a little bit of weight to it, so I don't know if the last ones that I've tried were actually Faber-Castell ones. There were a few issues before with knockoff art supplies, so I don't know if I got one of those. But I really love this pencil, and the first thing that I wanted to do with them is to try and figure out what kind of creature would I want to do. So I just googled some sort of animal skulls, and so I am building my creature off of that. And then I also decided to have this girl that's sort of draped on top of it. The first thing I really came to me with the prompt that is creature comforts is sort of this girl with her companion. So I wanted to make this scene where they were in peace together. I sort of realized now, but when I'm looking at the artist's artwork in the box with the creature sort of wearing all of these nice comfy clothes, that I could maybe be interpreting the prompts in a different way, but I think that's also one of the fun things about these boxes is people seeing different things out of one prompt. But yeah, I just hope it's not a language barrier thing. So I sort of started it with this scene of the two of them taking an afternoon nap, and I really quickly just tried to set up the values with the pencil that I had so I can then work my full piece off of that. But the first thing I did with the deco brushes were to try and see if I can dilute them in any way, just to have it fit my art style, because I sort of like to build up my scene in layers, and these colors are very opaque. So first thing I tried to see if I can dilute them, and I'm surprised that I actually can, and also by how well it worked. And I was so dead set on just using the art supplies that came in the box that I actually forgot about the brush, and I'm so annoyed by myself for forgetting about that. But yeah, I did cheat a little bit and used the brush just so I can make this painting. But I also just really loved how these colors work together as paints. After I sort of got the midtones down first, I also wanted to see if I can use them in the way that they were intended. So I sort of just framed the two of them in these brown grassy lines just so I can see how it would feel to actually use them how they're supposed to be used, and also to set my darkest values down first. I really just love how these things are. I sort of want to buy a full set of them now, because not only are they just super juicy and I love the brush on them, but I also love that they have a matte finish, so they're not shiny, which is what I expected, just because I was thinking of them being acrylic paint markers, but I really ended up loving their look. And now that I'm using them, I actually don't think that they're that far from fitting my usual art style. I was really nervous getting into this and seeing the art supplies and also seeing the prompts that this was going to be a hard time for me. And I sort of did have a hard time just trying to build up my creature and trying to make it make sense. But the art supplies I actually ended up loving. And also the colors I also loved. I'm surprised that I didn't miss having a cooler color in there. I sort of just substituted that for the neutral looking brown and just worked these colors into a whole piece. I also love the mixing different colors in my palette to get even more of a color range. Sometimes I would mix my brown with my orange and also my red with my yellow, because I think the red is actually sort of cooler than the rest of the colors. So to make it not stand out that much, I would need to add the yellow to it, or sometimes just the orange, just so I can bring it back to a warmer sort of color that would fit in more with the color scheme. I think that the most challenging part about this little artwork is just the design of the creature. I really wanted it to look weird, but I also didn't want it to look scary. The thing that I wanted to evoke in the painting was more like peace. So I wanted this whole thing to look very peaceful. I didn't want the design of the creature to take too much away from the emotion that I wanted to convey. I think in the end, I did come up with something, but yeah, I really felt like I was out of my element while I was trying to make the creature. I sort of just wanted to always escape into just painting the girl, because that's something that's not that different from what I always paint. But then in the end, I think that it worked having such a limited color selection, because I couldn't fixate that much on what color the creature was gonna be. I could just worry about just the values and the design that I wanted. So just having these colors as a selection actually did work in my favor in the end. Unlike most of my artworks where I would need to ink them, this is one of the only artworks where I actually dreaded this stage, because I really did feel like the size of the pen was just too big, and I didn't want it to just overshadow the other tiny details I had in my painting. So I was really worried about using that, but I think it did work in the creature's favor. I think that is what made the design of the creature sort of make a lot more sense for the whole exoskeleton thing. I sort of just decided to build the whole creature off of that and brought that over to its back. There wasn't really a lot of motivation to it. I just thought that there was such a big amount of blank space where it's just its back and nothing else. I didn't want to draw any fur because I'm just not good at drawing fur, and I didn't want to mess it up, so I ended up doing this with its back. And I also just loved drawing the contours in with the pigment brushes first and then softening them up with water. I really loved how, even though the paper wasn't really meant for super wet media, could actually handle a lot of water on it, and it's also very smooth, which just makes the paint dance across the surface in a beautiful way. But yeah, that is it for this whole video. I didn't expect to love this box that much, but I actually think that I will be using most of these art supplies again in the future. Maybe the Pigma pen, not that much, unless I am drawing something very big. But yeah, that is it for this one. Thank you to Scrawlrbox for sending this to me. And by the way, this month's Scrawlrbox is curated by Arlisha, or Arlie Bean on YouTube, who is one of my favorite art YouTubers. Her box looks amazing, and I think it might be one of the best Scrawlrboxes that I've seen just in unboxing videos. But yeah, that is it for this one. Thank you, Scrawlrbox, for sending these to me. Thank you guys for watching, and I will see you guys again soon.